What a great day it is to be learning some chemistry. So today we are going to focus in on reviewing our skills. 3 skills we've done this week, and so let's really just let's review these skills. The reason you want to review skills when you're learning things is to make sure that you keep that skill fresh, because the first time you learn it, you make a connection. Your brain makes a connection to it and you practice it. But then because it's your first time, you don't have it really in that long term. It's hard to get into that long-term memory. It's coming back and reviewing that skill or testing that skill. Things that are tested can be trusted. So remember that saying, things that are tested can be trusted. So you want to test your knowledge on the skill. So Unit 7A study guide. I'm going to do one of each one of them and let you guys work through them. I'll post a key in your Google Classroom. And so let's look at each one here. Make sure we just remember the skill. All right, if you're finding the molar mass of an element, remember what you're going to do. We're looking for beryllium. We're going to go here. These are already rounded, so you're simply 9.01. But what unit is that? Grams, exactly. Remember to always include grams as your unit when you're looking things up on the periodic table, unless you're just talking about a single atom. But we're not, because it's grams per what? 1 mole. It's grams per mole, or grams per 1 mole, which is the same thing. All right, so I'll let you do those others. So let's go down. Let's look at the first compound. So beryllium oxide, what's its molar mass? Well, remember, we got to see, okay, well, I've got 1 beryllium, I've got 1 oxygen. Beryllium's 9.01 grams. Oxygen, if you hadn't started memorizing it maybe already, 16, right? And both of these are times 1, so that just means you just write them over here. What do you do with the 2 amounts? Yes, you add them up, because it's a total here. So add those 2 up. We'll have a 1, we'll have a 0, we'll have a 5, carry the 1. 25.01. The unit is grams per mole. Molar mass is grams per mole. All right, so 25.1 grams per mole. That's the total mass of beryllium oxide. Well, what about the percent composition? So we're going to do 2 things in each one of these. What's the percent composition in mass of each one of these elements? And so we want to look at, first off, well, how much beryllium is in beryllium oxide. So what percent is 9.01 of 25.01, the whole amount? In other words, anytime you're doing percent, it's a part divided by the whole. A part divided by the whole amount. And so remember, it's going to be a divided by here. And so 9.01 divided by the whole amount, which is 25.01. And then 16 divided by 25.01. You divide them out. Obviously, got to use a calculator for this. Divided by 25.01. And then remember to multiply it times, oops, sorry about that. Remember, you have to multiply anytime when you do a percent calculation. You got to multiply times 100. So we're going to multiply that times 100. We get 36.03%. So 36.03% of this 25.01 grams is beryllium. Well, what about the other? Well, that's oxygen, so we do 16 divided by 25.01. And we see, got to multiply times 100. and we get 63.97%. Okay. Now, what do you remember? Anytime you have 2%, what do they have to add up to? Yes, if you're doing the whole amount, they got to add up to 100%. That's 0, carry the 1, 0, carry the 1, 0, carry the 1, 10. So, bam. All right. And so remember that. So there's your percent composition for that one. All right. Good luck there. Do those. All right. So let's pop over to the back. I'll do one of each of these. And so we want to calculate the number of grams in the following samples. So all of these we're wanting to figure out how many grams are in this amount. Okay, so the first one, 3 moles of copper is how many grams of copper? Well, first off, we're doing a conversion. So you're going to put your amount, you draw your Dorman Saber or your conversion table. Then you're always going to take this unit, bring it down to the bottom. Moles. Moles is going to, can you convert moles into what we want to convert it into, which is grams? Well, yes, because molar mass is always grams per mole. Well, what's the molar mass of copper? We look it up on the periodic table, which you already, I think I choose all elements that you've already done on the other side. So we say 63.55. That's 63.55 grams per every how many moles? 1. That's right. So now we have moles on top, moles on bottom, so it cancels them out. The unit we're left with is grams. We'll write it in there. Then we're going to multiply the top numbers 3 times 63.55, divided by the bottom number, which in this case is 1, so we don't need to do that. And we would have, we'll do 2 decimal places on all of our answers here, 190.65 grams. All right. Let's slide down. Look at the other way of converting here that we've done this week. And that is going from grams to moles. So we're going to calculate the number of moles in these samples. Typically, when you go in the lab, you will be getting measurements in grams because you're putting a chemical on the scale, and that's how you do it. You don't get them in moles; you get it in grams. Well, if you're trying to figure out how many moles is that, how do you do that? Well, you got 49 grams of beryllium. You're going to put that on top. You always put what you start with on top. Put your conversion chart. Remember, nothing goes down here. Okay. The same thing up here. Remember, nothing went down here. So just to make sure we're not thinking something goes in that spot. But we need to get rid of grams. So where are we going to put grams? Yep. Take it to the bottom. Remember that unit always goes to the bottom. Grams on the bottom, what do we want to convert to? Well, it says calculate number of moles. Can we go grams to moles? Yes. This is called molar mass. And so we need to find beryllium's molar mass. Well, we'll take it. This is the one I did with you earlier on the other side. Beryllium, 9.01 grams. That goes down here with grams, 9.01 grams. Grams per what? Per 1 mole. Awesome. Okay. Now, units, grams are gone. We're left with moles, which is what we want our answer in. So we're done with our conversion. Now we need to do the calculation. Calculation always multiply the top numbers, which 49 times 1, don't need to do that. Since there's a 1, we don't need to do anything. And then we divide by the bottom numbers. So we need to take 49 divided by the 9.01. And that gives us 5.438, which that 8 will cause our 5.43 to round up to 5.44. Okay? All right. Well, there is one of each one. Hopefully, that rekindled all the stuff, all the skills that you learned this week. Take your time, go through. I will post a key showing you the answer so you can check your answers. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me in the comments section, or anything else that I can help you with. All right? Remember, be strong, be courageous. We got this.